Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you for coming to Blogmedia interview. We know that you're the founder of Sodax, the platform that's building financial infrastructure across 18 networks, empowering some of the most interesting DeFi products being built today. So, to understand why Sodax exists, you have to understand where it came from to the people who are reading and subscribing to our channel. The Korean community better remembers you from the Icon Foundation, basically. So take us back. What were you originally trying to build with Icon, and what problem were you trying to solve?
That's a very good question. Well, first of all, nice to meet you. Icon started back in 2017. That's when we actually launched. However, as everyone knows, that's a long time ago. So we got to take this back to when it was in 2017, when basically no infrastructure was built. This is when Bitcoin and Ethereum were the only blockchains available. There were some new projects that were launching, and we were one of them. So Icon back in the days was a layer 1 project in today's terms. But basically we came out of the enterprise blockchain space. So we were essentially helping a lot of the enterprises learn and understand the blockchain technology. So we were essentially building for the enterprises to begin with. The problems that we were solving was like the issues that we were facing back then. I would say utility being the biggest. Beginning with scalability. Scalability was a huge issue. Second, it was the fact that a lot of the smart contracts back in the days were Ethereum-based or EVM or Solidity. So Solidity, we felt had limitations here in Korea, so we were shifting towards another smart contract language, which later became Java. And then, those we thought were kind of the limitations of the blockchain. Just to sum it up, there were quite a bit of a lot of issues. And one of the biggest challenges we thought we foresaw coming was interoperability. So interoperability is something that we're still tackling today, and that's something that we got it right.
Okay, and Icon raised over $40 million, the biggest ICOs during the 2017 boom. So which set very high expectations back then. So looking back, what did Icon achieve during that era?
Yeah, I think a lot of people remember us as a Korean Ethereum. To get the facts straight, that was a term that was coined not by us, but from other media sources. But I think it's a great, kind of analogy of what we were trying to do. We achieved quite a bit at that time. For a non-EVM chain, we were one of the largest, builder community. We've kind of built that from very organically from grassroots movements. So we're very proud of that builder community, which a lot of them are actually joined our team today, and we're still continuing to build. Other things are just like pure educational perspective. There were a lot of enterprises today that you see, it's all about RWAs and stablecoins today. A lot of these financial institutions, they were first learned about blockchain from us. We did heavy educational courses for these institutions. And that's how, I think it kind of seeded that blockchain knowledge and education here in Korea. And also like founders in the Web3 space, we inspired a lot of them to build and launch their own project. We seeded a lot of the, the projects that were like launched out of Korea. So I think all in all, I think we've done a lot for the ecosystem.
Okay, so after that, when you decided to shut down the Icon year 1, some people saw it was an ending. The way you've described it, it sounds more like you shut the parts that were holding you back, kept the best from the Icon. So can you tell us more about its?
Yeah, definitely it was a very difficult decision to shut down the layer 1, but we thought it was the very natural choice, a rational choice. When we look at the blockchain industry today, let me kind of take that back. And 2 years ago, when we were thinking about evaluating our own, ecosystem, our own technologies that we've built over the years, we kind of narrowed it down to what are we actually good at, and what are some of the things that we felt that could, we could kind of trim the fat and double down on, what we believe that we could really, really focus on and make an impact. And that was basically the middle layer, the interoperability portion. Layer 1 is very expensive and very costly, and it's very difficult to operate. And by getting rid of the layer 1, we could actually fully focus on Sodax, which is what we're here to talk about.
Okay. So we're here to talk about Sodax. So what is Sodax actually solving, and why does this problem need to be solved right now?
Yeah. So Sodax stands for Secure On-Chain Digital Assets Execution Layer. We also call it exchange, but I think a lot of the times people mistake an exchange as just like a centralized exchange or a DEX or a bridge. But we're far more than that. We're an infrastructure for basically cross-network or cross-chain execution and settlement layer. What I mean by that is that there are many blockchains here today, and on those blockchains there are many smart contracts that are built on these like different tech stacks. When we were actually building Icon and a lot of the applications on Icon, we learned that it's so difficult to go cross-chain because you got to learn all these different stacks. You got to stitch them together. So if you have an idea, it's very difficult to just launch a product and go multi-chain from day one. So we focused on this middle layer, the settlement and execution layer, to make it easier for builders to actually, focus on building, focus on their users, and the rest we take care of it ourselves. So our infrastructure takes care of that. Some examples I could give, there's a lot of versatility and many things you can do with Sodax. But for example, if you're launching your own or issuing your own token, you launch it on Ethereum or you have like a designated chain. When you want to go cross-chain, you got to learn every single network. But not only that, when you want to have your tokens be available for trading on these different networks, you need to see liquidity on each of these networks. So your liquidity is fragmented from day one. You need a lot of capital to make your tokens available for a lot of different users from a lot of different networks. What our technology actually does is we bring that all together. That's how we call it unified liquidity layer. And that is when you are able to have liquidity sourced from one chain, but be available from every other chain that we're connected to.
Okay, so one of the ideas at the heart of Sodax is intent-based execution.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean in plain terms? And what does it change for someone building a product on top?
Yeah. Intent-based trading, I think, or intent-based products, I would like to kind of think of it as using an analogy, vibe coding. So when you think about vibe coding today, I don't know if anybody, a lot of your audience, I'm sure that they here being in Korea vibe coded by now. So all you need to do is state the intent of your application or product wants to do. And Claude or these applications or these models will build the product for you. So before, when you want to build an application, you got to learn coding, you got to learn what kind of language to build on, what kind of data, like everything you need to figure out on your own. Whereas today, all you need to do is state what you want to do, and the rest kind of gets taken care of for you. So intent-based, trading or intent-based swaps, intent-based DeFi is you state the outcome, and the infrastructure, that's what we do. Sodax takes care of everything for you.
So Sodax describes its infrastructure for modern money, which means you're in the business of enabling like other builders rather going directly to users. So how did you decide this was the best way for Sodax to build something that actually changes how people experience?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It's something that we've struggled with very early on. Like, do we go B2C, B2B, B2B2C? And the easy answer was that, where can we actually make the most impact? Where can our technology be used for the most amount of people today? And when you look at like the DeFi experience, it's very clunky. It's very difficult. I don't know if you had an experience of using kind of DeFi products where you need to, in order to make one transaction, you need to click, 50 times, maybe not 50, but a few times in order to approve different contracts. That's like a sequential, like threading of or stitching together various contracts. And the only way to do it is like very clunky experience. what Sodax does is like it abstracts away all that layers so that it minimizes the level of approval, transaction verification, so that from a user's perspective, it's clean. And another big benefit is that Sodax is all about atomic transactions. So the transaction either goes through or it doesn't. So when you're working in DeFi and when you go put your money through different, sequential ways of like transacting, you click approve, 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 your money goes missing. And this is one of the issues of blockchain. You need to figure out where your money got stuck, and we try to find where your money, you gotta contact different places. Sodax is an execution where it's execute or it automatically refunds you. So that's just one example of many things our technology does.
So ISIX holders supported this project for nearly a decade. So the token is now migrating to Soda. What does that change mean for them? What should they know about what happens next?
Yeah. So in the big picture, we're still focused on interoperability, making usability or utility better for blockchains and what we call a multi-chain world. So in essence, the goal, the mission does not change. So you're still supporting the same mission that we started with. But the actual token economics has vastly improved because we don't need to inflate away anymore. So now there's a token maximum supply. We don't have to give money away to validators because we're not a layer one. And then all the fees or transactions that gets generated on the Sodax protocol goes back into burning and using for the ecosystem. So, we've kind of improved that mechanics of token economics. So we think that's a huge benefit for the token holders.
And Sodax is now a global company that Icon has deep roots in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
So how does Sodax continue to work with and support the Korean blockchain ecosystem?
Yeah, so we continue to, not only Korea, but we support all ecosystems. But like you said, our roots are in Korea. So, which is why I'm here today. I'm here talking with you, a lot of the other builders in Korea. So, quite frankly, honestly, it's quite sad to see, a lot of these activities in the bear markets have died down. So we're talking with a lot of the builders to, see like, how can we help? We're fortunate to have projects like Kaia, which is launching their own layer 2 quite soon. So we're talking with some of their accelerator partners to see how our technology could be helpful. It's been very well receptive. And I think one of the best things about like transitioning to Sodax and getting rid of our layer 1 is that now we are able to work more closely with, I would consider frenemies. So guys like Kaia, whom we always respected from day one. So we had a mutual admiration. But when you're running your own layer 1 and they have their own layer 1, there's a conflict of interest. So by getting rid of our layer 1, now we're a lot more complementary and we're able to work a lot more together. And we're already making impacts in their DeFi ecosystem, where we're working with a lot of the dApps on Kaia to power these cross-network activities.
As you mentioned, you recently integrated with Kaia. So what can those partnerships mean to you? Can you say more about it, and what does it actually mean for
Yeah, so Kaia has a big goal. Their ambition has been very strong. So I cannot speak for their management team of what their strategies are. We're here to support whatever strategies that they have. One of them is stablecoins. So they've been pushing USDT Kaia for some time now. And we want to make their stablecoin available on other networks. So like I mentioned, be able to transact cross-network with their USDT and other pairs or other tokens very easily. Some of their applications have a hard time getting other assets to be deposited into their vaults or their products in USDT, right? So we help them transition those cross-chain activities so that other people could easily deposit or convert whatever assets on whatever chain easily to USDT Kaia. So one is Spoon Finance. They're like a vault service that operates yields. The more recent one is a credit card or debit card service called SAM, and we've been working very closely with them as well.
So Korea's crypto community has been through a lot. The IC crashes, Terra Luna. How do you think about rebuilding trust with Korean users, developers, after everything in the industry happens?
Yeah, I think this is a topic that's kind of could be split into two. One is just focusing on developers. When you look at the development community and when we come and talk to them, they've loved the fact that we've been here from day one. We're still around for 9+ years. And, I'm the founder and I'm still here 9+ years working on the same project. I'm extremely dedicated to making sure that the Sodax ecosystem, past previously Icon, is successful. But not only that, we're here to provide help. So I think from a developer community, we still have a strong reputation. The retail is a completely different story. And unfortunately, we don't have full control over that narrative. And, there's been a lot that happened, like you said, Terra, Luna, and many different, kind of bad actors that kind of ruin the relationship with the retail traders. And, I'm not here to say or judge, but we are, in a sense, a victim ourselves where we got looped into the entire kind of bad reputation of this industry. So I think the only way to actually come out of this is to, really perform. We need to continue building, continue to invest, continuing to provide, performance, make revenues, genuine revenues, and actually make an impact, meaningful impact in this industry and give back to the token holders eventually.
Yeah, as you mentioned, people acknowledge it right now as a bad industry, but I think it will be okay. Also about DeFi, there's some security problems, but definitely I think DeFi is at an inflection points, like AI agents, real world assets, and more institutional money. Also, basic making retail. So they're moving toward this space at the same time. So how does Sodax fit into that picture? And why does having this infrastructure in place matter?
Yeah. So you touched upon three biggest, I think, themes right now, which is AI agents to, RWAs and stablecoins, which you could loop or kind of combine them into enterprise or institutional readiness. So to answer your question about the AI section, I think AI, both of these, I would say we've been ready from the very start. Any type of, blockchain being a transactional layer, being a ledger, we're able to execute across different chains simultaneously. So, just being that execution and settlement layer gives us that advantage, or we're able to serve any type of users or any kind of, products that come out. We're very versatile in that manner. It's very exciting that, the AI kind of came to be. If you think about AI in a sense that, what's important for AI is data. And for blockchain, it's all about, verifying data. So put together is sort of a perfect match. And, I think in the future, as, we scale, it's not only about computing power, it's about how, authentic and, true, the data that they're training with, right? So I see a future where blockchain is essentially a core infrastructure for AI. And I think that's already happening. And, NFTs, I think, will make a comeback, not in the same form as PFPs or profile photos, but in a sense that it will be used for data verification and so forth. For enterprise, I think this is where stablecoins and RWAs are going to come. And, we're in a sense a perfect partner for a lot of these financial institutions. Like I mentioned, they'll be issuing many tokens that is stock-based, tokenized ETFs. And our ability to move those across, different networks in the public chain or enterprise chain or whatsoever, that gives us at a great advantage. And, a lot of institutions are talking to us for that matter. Yeah.
So what else nearly a decade of living in this industry taught you and that you couldn't have learned anywhere?
Yeah, so that's a great question that, I think just thinking about this, you cannot pinpoint one exact, thing that we've done to say that like we've learned, but I think it's just accumulation of just ups and downs of this cycle. We've been through all the bears and bull cycles. We've actually worked with various DeFi primitives. So we learned quite a ton. And I think Sodax wouldn't exist today unless we've actually went through those cycles. Cross-chain is extremely, extremely hard. That's why there are so few players in this space. So I think that also means that we have built a moat in a sense that like we've understand how to run different infrastructure on different networks, EVM, non-EVM, and that training and learning, that trial and error actually made us stronger and stronger and stronger. So we've built a in-house expertise on how to do what we do is execute across different chains.
Okay, so this will be the last question. So for Korean developers watching this who want to build something with Sodax, where do they start and what can they realistically ship in a short amount of time?
Yeah, so if you go to sodax.com, we have not only documentations, but everything ready. We have case studies of examples of our clients building different things with our stack. We also have an AI-generated report where all you need to do is put in your URL and it will create a report on how Sodax could benefit your product. So it takes only a couple minutes to check that out. So I would highly encourage any Korean builders to check out the website, but I'm here. We have a lot of, we have our partners here. We have a lot of builders in Korea who's using Sodax. So come reach out to us. We love to talk. We love to figure out ideas. To answer your questions of like how long things take, I think that depends. But we have our intern or our community managers with absolutely no coding experience already building his own swap services, payment apps, just by vibe coding today. So he's been shipping it. He's been sharing that with our community, and it's been very exciting to see, especially in this era of AI, you could actually build easily with the documentations and the technology stack that we've built. So I think like you could ship things like today, if you want to do something more sophisticated, about a week. So we have our one SDK, which could be used for everything, but we have our APIs, which will be shipping soon. So if you want something specific like swap API or yield API, so if you're looking for something specific, we will have that ready for you pretty soon.